Hello and welcome to the show. Today we are here to build a better monster killing machine and to preview what we have been calling behind the scenes Armor 2.0. If you are playing Solstice of Heroes and if you're acquiring your fabulous dress uniforms, you may know that the armor that you are acquiring and adding glow to will become Armor 2.0 on October 1st with our fall releases.
Yeah, so if you earned the legendary set, you can, once Shadowkeep drops, you'll be able to come over here, talk to our friendly neighborhood gunsmith, and Gunsmith is going to have an upgrade package for you that you'll be able to grab, and when you do,
bam,
you're going to get your full Armor 2.0 set of Solstice gear.
What are some of the first changes that we can observe, even at this level of the character inspection screen, for Armor 2.0?
Sure. Yeah, so one of the first things you'll notice is that with the introduction of Armor 2.0, we're also reintroducing Intelligence, Discipline, and Strength, the three stats from the first Destiny game that will now sit alongside Mobility, Resilience, and Recovery, the stats from Destiny 2. And those stats now, instead of scaling from 1 to 10, will actually scale from 0 up to 100. And if you tooltip over them, you can see we've added some information about what each of these stats does and shows you where you're at on that 0 to 100 scale. So for example, mobility, one of the things it does is it increases your base speed, and each of the stats has breakpoints at every 10 points of stats, so 10, 20, 30, and once you cross that breakpoint, cross that threshold, you enter a new tier. And so once you're in a tier, that's when you gain the benefits of that, the increased benefits of that tier. So for example, right now you can see mobility for my character. I've got 30 mobility that puts me at tier 3, which gives me the 12% base speed increase. And you can see resilience is giving you extra shield capacity. Recovery helps you recover more quickly from when you get damaged. Your discipline is going to govern your grenade recharge rate. So the higher your discipline, the faster your grenade will recharge. Your intellect will increase your super ability or decrease your super ability cooldown time. And your strength will decrease your melee ability cooldown time. So basically, these 6 stats are the first thing that you'll notice on the character screen. And you're getting these stats from the armor itself. So each set of armor is going to have some number of points in each of the 6 stats. And they all combine together to give you your total. And of course the class item doesn't have any stats on it, but these basically will combine together to give you your total. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be collecting armor, finding the right combination of stats for the build that you want to make, and then putting those pieces together to help create your particular build.
Cool. And yes, confirmed, Glimmer Cap has been raised to 250,000.
Yes.
So we just saw you acquire your Solstice of Heroes armor from the gunsmith. How does one acquire an exotic 2.0?
Sure. So exotic items are all converted over to Armor 2.0 so that when they drop in the world, they will be Armor 2.0-ified.
Yeah.
That's a word, by the way. But also, we've gone in and we've changed over all of the exotics in your collections so that if you've already collected a particular exotic, you'll be able to pull it out of your collections as an Armor 2.0 piece. Cool. It'll have a fixed roll, so you'll still want to go out there and find drops that have a different roll that suit your character, but you'll be able to get a version of it out of your collections. So now that I've sort of got my basic theme and I've picked out my exotics, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start modifying my gear. And so one of the first things you'll notice is that the randomized perks are gone and instead have been replaced by armor energy and armor mods. So we have 3 mod sockets down below and we have energy up on the top. And so just to talk about that a little bit, basically each type of armor will have an energy type and an energy amount. This number goes from 1 to 10, and this number can be upgraded. So basically, the energy amount tells you how many mods of which energy cost can be socketed in. So just a quick look down here, we can see that For example, the Paragon mod costs 4 energy. The Void Resistance mod costs 1 Void energy. So Void mods can only be socketed into Void armors. Anything that requires any energy can go into any armor piece.
You have a budget to spend now.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but your budget is not maximized there. You
it
have
is not
5
yet.
out of 10.
Yes, and so what I'm going to do is just to sort of show you how this works. Basically, I know that I'm going to be using my sniper rifle a lot because I want to get that super energy because I'm going to socket in another mod from that. So basically, when I go down here, I can look at my mods. I can see some of them are grayed out. That means I don't have enough energy to socket those in. If I move my cursor over it, you can see that the energy bars start to fill up and flash up there saying, hey, this is how much energy this mod is going to consume.
Yeah.
If I move my cursor over one of the mods that I don't have enough energy for, you can see it turns red and it shows me, hey, there's 1 energy bar there that we'd still need to be able to socket this in. So I want to make sure I've got this enhanced sniper rifle targeting because I don't want to look bad on the stream when I miss a headshot. So
no one wants to.
I'm going to go ahead and upgrade here. And so now I've upgraded a few and I've got enough energy for it, so I can go ahead and socket this in. So now I've got enhanced sniper rifle targeting right there waiting on me. And it's also worth noting that mod didn't go away. Right.
Unlocks are the future.
Yes, all armor mods are unlocked. So once you've acquired it once, it is then unlocked forever. It can be socketed into as many pieces of armor as you want, unsocketed, whatever, like however you want to do it. We thought this was important because we want you to experiment with your mods and experiment with your builds and be able to swap things out. So basically, once you've got it forever.
Look at this, Ascendant Shards.
Yes. Yeah, so we do have some new materials that are going to be required to upgrade these that will be available from various reward sites throughout the game. And then once you finally upgrade your armor to its top tier, one of the things you'll be able to notice, it's a little difficult to see right now, here, let me move, there we go, is that each of my stat bars shows an increase there. You can see the green on the side of the stat bars.
Yeah.
That's because when you upgrade an armor to its full masterwork level, it actually gives you +2 to every stat all the way down the line. So basically that's the benefit you get in addition to being able to put in more mods into your armor.
Sure.
So I've already got my enhanced sniper rifle targeting in, and now I want to go ahead and make sure I've got plenty of ammo for this. So one of the things we've done is we've broken out the ammo finders into specific weapon ammo finders. So I'm going to be going in here and getting my sniper rifle ammo finder. We've also made sure that the ammo finders, they not only work a little bit more reliably, but they also show you that they are working a little bit more visibly. And hopefully when we get into the actual gameplay, we'll be able to show off exactly what that looks like.
So you'll see that ammo has a special glow on it. That means that that ammo was specifically generated from my ammo finder perk.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell, like, oh, it's actually doing something. That's how I can tell.
And at the moment it happened, you also get an indicator on your HUD as well, so that if it happens in the middle of a firefight, you can see that you get a little buff that tells you, hey,
you done did it.
you got it. So I'm going to go ahead and socket that in. So I got 1 leftover energy. I've got 1 open socket over here, so you can see that, hey, a lot of these are grayed out, but I've got some choices down here. I can get void resistance, minor resist, or major resist. I think for this one, I'm going to put in major resist. So let's see here. I think I'm going to be using my Lumina a lot to buff people, so I think, and that's probably my primary, so I think I'm going to go with enhanced hand cannon loader. Put in there. I need to upgrade my armor a little bit here, so I can get my full energy amounts there, get my full masterwork.
Yeah.
Right,
It's interesting how you're letting people really double down on the things that are important to them with some expensive mods, but if you want to diversify a little bit more, you can pick some of the cheaper options and have different skills across the spectrum.
And it's worth noting in this particular one right here, I picked an enhanced mod and then I picked a broadly useful mods, and those are pretty expensive. If I instead was to pick something more specific, like my sniper rifle loader, it's a little bit more on the expensive side because there are both special and heavy sniper rifles, and also the reload time on a sniper rifle is really, really important. But if I was just using regular hand cannon loader, I would be able to afford more mods. So basically, you kind of have to make a choice about how important it is to you, and it could be that based on the perks that you have on your particular hand cannon, that reloader mod isn't as important to you, right? So it's going to be about weighing what perks I have on my weapons, what perks do I need on my armor to live that gameplay style that I'm aiming at.
Do we have to acquire these mods before we can use them?
Yes.
Yes. And how? Where will these mods be found? How can players expect to be acquiring these?
Yeah, so the mods will actually drop from about 3 different sources. You'll be able to get them from the gunsmith. He will both sell mods on a rotating basis, so basically they'll rotate through and you can just buy them from him.
Yep.
You can also get them from gunsmith packages, so like if you get the gunsmith engram, sometimes it will include a mod.
Okay.
You'll also be able to get them from just world engrams, and then also some of the mods, like the enhanced mods, will come from engrams that you'll get from Iron Banner and the Raid and other Pinnacle sources. So basically, like they're grouped into big chunks there, so that's why you'll be able to go get them. Yes, absolutely. So one of the things we do is we make sure that basically for the sockets that are armor piece specific, like these are the leg armor mods, there are certain mechanics that are only found in there. So all of the scavenger mods are down here as well. Plus, like traction is on the boots. If you look at like the chest, basically that's where the capacity and the unflinching ones are mods are. And this is similar to how things are distributed in the perks right now and the random armor in the game right now. But we've just sort of doubled down on making it so that they have a very clear, like, hey, these are boot mods, these are chest mods, etc. The one thing that is nice, though, is that because these 2 slots are they're both just leg armor slots, you can have a scavenger mod and a scavenger mod, where you couldn't have that before, right? You couldn't have 2 scavenger mods, you couldn't have 2 unflinching mods, right? Like if I wanted to, I could have unflinching sniper rifle and unflinching hand cannon if I wanted to, right? And so like you have a little bit more flexibility in how you like what kinds of mechanics you have access to at any given time. Now I have put in a full suite of mods on all of my armor. And one of the things people can see is that the mods that I've socketed in, it is put those tooltips down there. The UI team did a great job of coming in and making sure that the tooltips reflect the changes in Armor 2.0. You can see an armor's energy type, its energy amount, you can see its stats, you can see the fact that it has fully masterwork stats. When I move my cursor over it, the stat bars actually change, so I can see like, hey, this is going to add to the strength of this item. So it adds it in, and you see the strength bar actually goes up. So you can see exactly what your strength has gone up to because I had that mod in there. I like my SOLSTICE gear for the most part, but I think I want to change out this headpiece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to go into my ornaments, and I'm going to find... Oh yeah. Yeah, this is the one.
So these are the universal ornaments that we gave sort of just a conversational textual preview of in a previous conversation. And I mean, this is a huge shift for us.
It is.
Playing the tactical game, building the perfect tactical guardian meant that your style choices took a back seat. You could apply some shaders and try to get yourself closer to how you want to look. But now, when you look at a guardian, at a glance, you're not necessarily going to know how they fight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things we don't do is we don't overwrite the exotics, right? So you're always going to be able to recognize the exotic that someone's wearing. But yeah, you'll be able to change your appearance. And we felt like it's important because, like, people want to, play the way they want to play. They want to look the way they want to look, and I feel like they should be able to do both of those things without a lot of friction. So we're starting this off. This is the first steps in that direction, but we're starting it off with the universal ornaments.
Now, if you have achieved the glow in Solstice of Heroes, we don't have that in this development build, but we do want to call out that you would be able to apply that glow to this Guardian. So those are things that you get to bring forward with you into the 3rd year of Destiny 2.
Start out by going through every one of my armors and putting in the discipline mod, which reduces my grenade cooldown, because that's sort of the core of this build, is having that arc buddy up. So I'm just gonna pre-slot everything so that way I know like how much I have to work with left over. So now I am at tier 9 of discipline, so I get my grenade back in 37 seconds. So you'll notice like the energy types, they're different, and depending on the energy type, that controls what mods are available. So it's only showing me the ones that can go in this armor, stuff with no energy type requirement or stuff with arc energy type requirement. Another thing I want to show is when you hold down left trigger to compare your armor now, you get a nice little flyout window that gives you the full descriptions of all your mods and perks, which is handy for a quick glance so you don't have to go into the actual item
Yeah.
to read it.
That's really cool.
I've already selected it, but as you can see, I'm actually going bottom path Void Hunter. And I know top path and middle path are the most popular options right now. And so the Sandbox team actually did an update to the Void subclasses, gave them a little bit of love. And so I kind of want to show it off a little bit here, show that the bottom path actually is viable now. And so I'm just going to quickly hover over these things. I won't go into too much detail. You guys can screen cap it or whatever you want on, out there as you're watching the streams. But the main thing is, like, there's a really cool synergy now between the smoke bomb that the hunter has as well as the grenade. And so those two things kind of tie back and forth into, if I can throw my smoke bomb down, and with the bottom path, as many hunters know, it actually makes you and your allies invisible. So I'll be doing that often in this stream, but that actually recharges my grenade energy. And then when I have my grenade up and I throw that on an enemy and it starts to tick the enemy with damage, it actually increases my melee energy charge. So I'm actually able to kind of create this cycle of feeding those two things back into each other. So as you can see, like, whenever I chuck my grenade and I'm actually able to hit something with it, then I'll be getting my melee cooldown back. And then the other cool thing is, if I can get myself and especially allies with the smoke to make us invisible, then it'll also increase my grenade cooldown. And let's go through this. And so for this one's actually solar because it's a exotic, and so exotics can roll with any of the different energy types. And as the season progresses too, like, right now we have a bunch of the mods already unlocked for us, but there's other ways that, like the artifact, for example, that we're not diving too deep into it today. It'll be able to give you mods later on the season, and those the offerings from that also change season over season. So just because you solve this once doesn't mean that you're good for the entirety of your Destiny life.
We're going to have all these new mods to pick from. What does this do to the old mods?
So we're not actually going to deprecate any of the old mods. You can hang on to them. You can keep using them. You can keep using your pre-Armor 2.0 armor as well. It won't burst into flames or anything, right? So it'll still work.
So if I have a god roll, that nothing will part me from this god roll. I can keep that. I can keep modifying it.
Yep. I think you're going to want to eventually switch to Armor 2.0, but you can transition over. But also mods dismantle into mod components. Mod components are what you're going to use to buy mods from the gunsmith. So if you want to get rid of like a bunch of old mods that you're not using anymore, you'll be able to convert those into the new mods as you buy them from the gunsmith.
A nice symbiotic economy, but it still gives me options I can use for everything in my in my vault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We talked earlier a little bit about how you're going to be able to pull your exotics out of your collections.
Yes.
We didn't really mention anything about legendaries, and I think it's worth pointing out something that I'm really excited about, that all legendary armors in the game are going to drop as Armor 2.0 from Shadowkeep on. So basically, any armor drop at that point from any source that's legendary is going to be an Armor 2.0 armor. So that means all the planetary armor sets, if you go back and do an old raid or escalation protocol or whatever, or Dreaming City, or take your pick, right? It's all going to be dropping as Armor 2.0 armor.
Even if you're pulling it off a vendor, like if Anna Bray has my favorite Warlock chest piece because it looks like Tuxedo Tails, I can go back and say, hey, give me the new stuff.
Yep, we updated those they have fixed rolls, so you're still going to want to get a drop because the fixed rolls tend to be pretty, middle of the road-ish. So if you want to, you're going to want to be chasing better stat rolls that fit the kind of build that you're going to make, or higher stat rolls, honestly.
We've seen mention of this in chat, but indeed, if you look at your teammates in any instance, whether you're in the tower or if you're on a strike, over their heads you can see which class they are. So if you want to make some immediate educated decisions as to how someone's playing, we're not giving you a number over their heads now. We're letting you know if they are Hunter, Titan, or Warlock.
All right.
And you might notice Weapons of Light back by default.
It's must-see GG, Weapons of Light. I believe that was the first instance in chat for Mixer. Let's see, over on Twitch. Overshield outside of Bubble. Chat prepared. Bubble time. Weapons of Light, baby, says Mastermind.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really no secrets to be kept from this community.
Okay, well,
Arc Buddy will weaken him down.
So you'll see that little dot over the head.
Boom.
There you go.
Punch him right in the wall.
did it.